Are you serious? Are you serious? Well, guys, we're very serious, and it's getting extremely serious. And let me tell you about this situation with Russia and Poland and Ukraine. First, let me just quickly shout out, just say noblegoldinvestment.com. Take a look at your 401k, your IRA. Really think about maybe diversifying some of that into gold or silver. You would know what you should do. If you need advice, they will help you with that. They're honest people. It's a good Christian company, family owned. Colin Plume, great guy. And pick up the phone and call noblegoldinvestment.com at 877-646-5347. That's 877-646-5347. And just tell them Pastor Paul sent you over there. All right? Now, the situation is developing here. I was just talking to Israel Hall. We've been doing television all day here in Orlando, filming 6 television shows. And Izzy, tell us a little bit about what reports that we've already heard coming in.
Well, it looks like Russia has been hammering Ukraine with cruise missiles today, about 100 cruise missiles, and in that whole process, it looks like they got 2 missiles into Poland and killed 2 people across the border. So they're having emergency meetings in Poland right now. They want to do an emergency meeting at the UN. The G20 summit is going on in Bali right now. And as of course you know, President Trump is supposed to be making a big announcement tonight, but just a lot of stuff going on. So it kind of looks like it's not intentional, but at the same time, cruise missiles, I mean, with GPS, they can hit stuff within a couple inches.
Yeah.
So how do 2 cruise missiles go over the border into Poland?
Yeah.
But they're really upset. Moldova, they got their power knocked out because of the missiles hitting in Ukraine, and the power stations getting blown up because they have cross-border power, I guess. And it's a mess right now. So Poland, all of their ministers and cabinet and leaders are in high security talks right now. And this could trigger Article 5 of the NATO agreement, because it's an actual, attack, a physical attack on one of the nations. So it's been theorized and talked about, and that's why Russia said they wanted to attack Ukraine, because if they joined NATO, it would be an aggression towards them, because then if something happened between them, it would trigger Article 5. Well, now they're just straight up hitting NATO nations.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at. We're on the brink of nuclear war.
And
really.
you know, Israel, like you said, these are cruise missiles. These are not Scud missiles. This isn't the Gulf One, okay? These are precision missiles. So it isn't like, accidentally 2 of them went into Poland, straying over the line. Now, Russia might want to claim that, or they might want to play that hand. I expect they will. Here's the bottom line. Russia fired over 100 missiles at the innocent people of Ukraine, knocking out 7 million people without power in Ukraine.
Yeah.
7 million.
Going into winter.
It's cold over there. And then Moldova is a little bitty country right next door, and it's knocked out their power. So that's probably another 1 million people. And then you got 2 missiles hit in Poland, killing 2 people. It's reckless. Even if Putin tried to say, well, I didn't really mean to hit Poland. Dude, it's recklessness. You're just firing away, shooting. And I believe he did mean to hit Poland. I'll just tell you right now. All you got to do is study history. How many times has Russia invaded Poland? Just go study it. This is why Poland has been putting up barbed wire and putting up razor wire. And
yeah, this isn't their first prom dance.
It's not. And they've been saying, guys, if he's in Ukraine, he's coming for us next. And this is why NATO has been beefing up, not only in Poland and Romania, but Norway and Sweden and even Germany. These nations know they've got to do something. So, folks, this is absolutely now.
Remember the bear that rises up onto one side and has 3 ribs in the mouth of its teeth?
Yeah.
That prophecy?
Yeah, it's in the book of Daniel. Now, let me just put this to rest. Well, Putin's a good guy. He's fighting a new world order. He's destroying the labs, the American labs in Ukraine. He's not destroying labs in Moldova or in Poland. And trust me, he might be blowing up some labs we got in Ukraine. And we're probably wanting to blow up his labs that he's got in the Arctic. And we got labs everywhere. Every nation has labs. This is war, people. He's not fighting for the new world.
And disinformation is part of war.
Yeah, he don't care about you. If you think he cares about the Christian people, you think he cares about that? This guy is absolutely trying to conquer Europe. He told you that. He wrote his manifesto. He told you that. Well, I don't know, Begley. I don't know if I believe that. Well, he wrote it. Okay, so I just have to be honest. Innocent people are dying. And I'm not saying Putin's the only bad guy in the world. There's tons of them. What I am going to say is he's got 6,400 nukes, okay? And I don't think there's nothing he won't do. And he's testing to see how far can he keep going now, and that nobody in NATO will pull a threat on him. And he even does this while the G20 summit's going on. United States is setting right with China. They're sitting with all the world leaders. And you know what Putin's betting? Nobody will do nothing. And if nobody does nothing, he'll bomb Ukraine a little more. And the next thing you know, he'll start advancing on Poland. Because nobody's doing nothing. I don't want war. But I'm going to say what you just said. We shouldn't be shocked that the bear in the book of Daniel would grab the rib of 3 nations and rip them out, you know?
Yeah. And I know a lot of people have different, interpretations of prophecy, but the Bible says that these beasts are nations.
They are nations.
That's the interpretation from the Bible, from the Word of God. So when it talks about the bear and the leopard and the lion, those are nations.
Yes.
We know that for a fact. And this is something that happens in the last days. Now, you've got Putin. They basically threatened Israel, and they said, look, if any of your equipment falls into Ukrainian hands, like the arrow system, or David Sling, or the Iron Dome, or all of these defensive weapons, the defensive weapons that they have, that they said, we will go after you. You're next.
Yeah.
And we don't care if you meant to give them it. If they just get it through a third party, if it gets sold to them from another country,
we'll go after you.
We're holding you responsible.
Yeah.
So Russia has their sights set on them.
And you got a brand new sheriff in town in Israel. Pretty soon he'll be in the seat, and that's Benjamin Netanyahu. And he's not going to play. He's going to protect Israel. Believe me, he will. He's strong. And then we got President Trump tonight. We don't know what he's going to announce at Mar-a-Lago, and that's an interesting twist to all of this. So, and what's going to come? Now they're having emergency meetings, right? Emergency meetings are going on now at the G20.
The UN was calling them, and Poland, of course, is already in the meetings. I don't know if they've concluded, but they've got, they're going to got to figure this out, because this technically would trigger Article 5 of NATO.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter if it's intentional or not. Now, that's what they're going to argue. Did Russia mean to drop it? Well, they mean to be in Ukraine. They meant to shoot off the missiles. It wasn't like the accidental incoming missile into Hawaii a couple years ago when they said, oh, somebody pressed the wrong button, which was
bogus.
Bogus anyways. But this isn't that. They deliberately meant to launch these cruise missiles, and they hit Poland.
Yeah, and so it's on, folks. And if we read also in Bible prophecy, it talks about the Sixth Trumpet War. Okay, the Sixth Trumpet War, of course, would be World War III. And that's in Revelation.
When the Euphrates River's drying up.
And that's when it says it will happen.
And the angels come out.
Yeah, when the river Euphrates dries up, then there will be these angels get released. Apollyon comes out of the bottomless pit. He releases those angels out of the Euphrates River, and they start the Sixth Trumpet War, and it just ends up killing 1/3 of the world. That could be what we're getting ready to see. I hope to God it's not. Or maybe this is Gog and Magog. Okay? I don't know.
Well, Iran has been arresting protesters. They've got girls, heroic young girls, 12, 13 years old, that are protesting, and they don't want to wear their hijabs. And so they're protesting, and they've arrested over 14,000. And there's starting to be reports now that they've decreed that they're going to execute all of these protesters that they've arrested.
Right.
They're gonna execute them. These girls, for standing up against, just
tyranny.
Atrocities.
Yeah, atrocities, tyranny. So we need to pray, folks, and let's also let's not bury our head in the sand here. Let's recognize that prophecy is happening, and we better get our people saved. We better be praying for our nation and praying for our leaders. and praying that we recognize the time we're in, because certainly we're living in the last days. There's going to be more updates. We're going to be following them. The news is breaking every few minutes. The State Department, everybody realizes what's happened, but you want to think about how high alert we are on now. I mean, all over the world, every nation is on red alert for fear of nuclear attacks.
Was it Iran that they released a propaganda video in Hebrew saying that they could hit Tel Aviv with a hypersonic missile in 400 seconds? Is that what it was?
Yes.
Yeah, they did it in Hebrew so they could scare them, because they've developed these hypersonics that fly really low under the radar and super fast. I mean,
I also wonder sometimes if China, if they knew this was going to happen while they were there. And that way, if the G20 holds an emergency meeting about it, China's sitting at the table.
Yeah, they already know. Of course they do.
And then they could tell Russia, here's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're at the back. That way, they're sitting at the back table.
This isn't a Chinese fire drill. This is the real thing.
This is war.
This is the real deal.
And you know which side China's on. They're not on our side.
Well, if you want to know what side Russia's on, Russia is on, look who they arm.
Yeah.
Look at what
Iran.
What countries use all the AKs and SKSs?
North Korea, all the
MiGs and they get
all
all
the
their
radical
stuff from
groups, all the radical Arab nations do.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we'll be back. We'll be back. Maybe not long from now. Yeah, you're right. People should get my DVDs, Armies of the Antichrist. I think it'd probably be.
You've been talking about.
I've been talking about. How long have I been talking about this?
Well, I've been watching you since at least 2015. So
yeah,
you've been talking about this stuff for a long time. That it's happening, and you get laughed at, you get mocked, and people say Begley's a fearmonger. He's fear porn, this and that, blah blah blah. Well, then 2020 happened, and people are going, "What? What's happening?" And look at all this stuff is going on. You've been laughed at and mocked for how many years? But God will not be mocked.
No.
And His word is going to happen. And we're talking about apocalypse and Armageddon happen in our lifetime.
Yeah.
This is for real, guys. This isn't a joke. It's not a dress rehearsal.
No, it's not. So tell your neighbors, tell your friends, get your family to start looking in the Bible. Prophecy is happening right now. I'll be back with more on the coming apocalypse. Give your life to Jesus Christ. It's on.